You're now listening to the Z-Listers podcast with Brady, Neil, and AJP.
That's so funny. I checked ya. That's funny.
What else I have to catfish?
Catfish. What?
What'd you say? Low?
Oh, what?
What did you say?
Catfish.
Before that.
Oh, cutie.
Oh.
About Suki.
Yeah. No, she's great, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it's like another world out here when you take the headphones off. That's how I used to wear headphones when I would DJ. Fucking DJ.
That's very cool.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born ready. Born to run also.
Fuck that guy. Welcome to the Z-Listers podcast. My name is AJP. Next to me is my beautiful co-host, Brady Neal, as always, back again. You must love that restaurant because you have 2 T-shirts from there. Was that from your most recent trip?
No, I've had this for like a couple years.
Nice.
It's my favorite spot in Augusta, Georgia.
Shout out to Augusta, Georgia. Shout out to James Brown Arena, and shout out to the what's the baseball team down there?
The
Green Jackets?
or
No, I think they're the Green Jackets because of the golf.
is it?
Yeah,
But
they actually,
something Jackets.
I think it's the Green Jackets,
Okay.
but they actually play in South Carolina, in North Augusta.
Oh, interesting.
Dude, I spend way too much time on Google Maps. I'm telling
So
you.
weird that you know that.
Whatever, dude.
I actually went to a Green Jackets game once.
Did you?
Yeah.
How
and
was it?
It was well. All I remember is that like a dude broke a bat hitting a ball.
Really?
Which was really cool.
Was that cool
Because they
to you?
use like wooden bats.
Were you a kid or were you?
I was a kid.
Oh, so what did you like better,
Giant.
that or the Braves? Because you went to the Braves game when you were a kid too.
I don't even remember the Braves honestly, so
See,
I'll pick the Green Jackets
as a
just
kid-
by default.
As a kid, like unless your kid's really into baseball,
Yeah.
just why do people go to major league games?
Yeah.
The price, getting there, the food.
I don't feel like it was crazy expensive when I went to that Yankees game.
No, well,
I don't know. I have bleacher seats. I can't.
but
remember
I'm
what I
just saying,
paid.
like taking a kid.
Yeah.
You're different because you're going
Yeah.
with a group of
But
friends.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but like for a kid, you could just
Go to
Yeah.
Somerset Patriots game.
like what's the difference?
Yeah. You want to go to a Patriots game tonight?
Not tonight? Is it even
I don't know.
You just say shit. Okay, I just see where
Let's
we're
just
at.
show up to the arena and see what happens.
God,
What?
did
Stadium.
you do that on purpose? That's like
Stadium.
such a pet peeve of mine.
I'm sorry.
It's not an arena. And then
The
before you
stadium.
said arena and stadium. God damn. I know. I have a lot of rules, but that's
I
one
hate
of them.
this.
Pisses me off. I hate this mic stand.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh man,
You gave me the good one.
I always do.
Thank
I
you.
want you to have the best.
Thanks, man.
Because you complained about that one I gave you the one time.
When I got here, you had approximately 9 buttons unbuttoned on your shirt.
Every one of these buttons was unbuttoned. For people just listening, my shirt looks like it came from the wardrobe department of 2.5 Men.
That's exactly what it looks
So
like.
I'm just trying to give a good, accurate description.
Yeah, you said you're on your Charlie Sheen shit
yeah.
this episode, and you
You know-
really are.
You know what's funny? As like tiger's blood. I'm banging 7-gram rocks. Being like given good descriptions on that topic. My grandma called me. She needed help with the computer,
Uh-huh.
and her Wi-Fi was out or something, right?
Yeah.
So she clicked. I was trying to talk to her on the phone about it, and you know how like the Wi-Fi signal, it's like the quarter circle and it has the bars over there. So the way she described it,
Yeah.
she was like. Because there was like a bunch on the list, and I was like, well, you got to find yours and connect to it.
Yeah.
She goes, well, some of them have like 1 line and 2 lines. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And I didn't realize she was talking about the thing.
Yeah.
She was like, just imagine like a quarter of a dartboard. And I just started laughing like crazy because it's like a perfect,
Yeah.
if you look at that, it's like a perfect description
Yeah.
of like what it looks like. But I thought that was really funny.
Quarter of a dartboard.
So saying that this shirt came from the wardrobe department of 2.5 Men is funny to me.
Did you fix it? The Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. Right on. What was it? What was the
I think it
fix?
just wasn't connected. I don't know. She wasn't home for a while, and then
Uh-huh.
I guess it just stopped working.
Mm.
You know, she breaks computers like crazy though,
Ugh.
dude, all the time. She has
She's incorrigible.
no idea what she's doing on computers, but
Come on, Mima.
that's funny as hell. You just pulled that out. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Went to a concert on Friday night.
Oh, that's why
Fun.
you're in AC.
Yep.
Who'd
the
you see?
Gaslight Anthem.
Oh, yeah,
They're pretty good.
I don't know who that is.
My girl and her family are all like obsessed with them. I like
Gas-
them all right. I think they're pretty
Gaslight
good.
Anthem?
They got some songs that have been stuck in my head.
Who are these guys?
They're from Jersey.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh wow, nice.
They got this song "Too Much Blood"
Mm-hmm.
that has just been playing on repeat in my brain for like the past like 72 hours.
How was it seeing a show at Hard Rock?
It was cool. So
'Cause
like
I think. Sorry, go on.
I didn't know this. It was like a smaller room. It's called Sound Waves if you want to look it up. But I didn't know this, but we got there. My girl's dad like always buys extra tickets for some reason, and which works to my benefit.
To bring people?
Yeah. And because he's nice like that. And we get there, and we were like in the VIP section.
Nice.
And it wasn't even like
close?
it wasn't even a packed VIP section either. So like we were very close to the stage.
Nice.
And got a little tipsy, got some drinks in me.
Hell yeah.
And
bro.
I had my earplugs, so I wasn't like complaining.
Oh yeah.
So
Do you have earplugs that like? Do you wear like regular ones?
no, they're like the foam ones.
So you just roll and put
Yeah.
in. See, they make them that you put in and you could still hear. Like I know you could still hear with those,
Yeah.
but they make them that's like a filter almost.
Yeah.
And I should get those, but I don't.
Isn't that how like most earplugs are supposed to work?
Yeah, but I think like the foam ones just like plug your ears up.
Oh, okay.
Like these are like I'll pull up a picture of them. Concert.
Because I imagine just by like making them different densities, they would like naturally filter out. But I don't know.
No, these are like you can get them. There's all.
They have
different-
like an electronic component.
No, I think they're like. I don't know. You're asking me about science. I have no idea.
Well, this is your wheelhouse, man.
No, I know.
You're like
but,
music man.
well, hang on. Wait, we're gonna pull these up on Amazon.
You're the smartest man I know.
Don't say that. That's
I
a
love
lot
you.
of pressure on me. I love you
love
too,
you.
but yeah. So it's like has these like chambers in it. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whereas like the other one's just like, see, reusable high fidelity hearing protection.
It's pretty
They, like,
cool.
Filter out different. Like,
Edemotic.
wait, what does it say here?
I've heard of those.
Anyway, yeah. But I mean, what you did was good though too to protect your ears. I was
Oh,
at
yeah.
a concert once, and it was in Philly in this like bar, but it was like so loud, and I was like right up front.
Yeah.
There was a point where like it just got so loud, like in like a movie when a grenade goes off, and like that's what it sounded like. It was just like, and I was just like, I can't hear. Like I'm watching the show, I'm looking up because I'm like right by the stage, and I see them performing.
Yeah.
Can't hear a thing, and I'm like, this is definitely going to do some long-term damage.
Yeah. I get really upset if something's like too loud.
Really?
And I've been that way since this isn't like me getting older. It's like I don't like loud shit.
Might be like a stimming thing. You might have like a
Like I'm on the spectrum or
maybe.
something.
I don't know.
I don't understand how people tolerate like they'll stand like right next to the speakers and it's like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
that can't be enjoyable.
At some point, it's like, what are you doing? I used to be afraid. We used to go to Englishtown to see like the drag cars and stuff, and I used to be scared of them because they were too loud, and I just didn't like that.
Oh.
But I kind of, I was a kid, so
Yeah.
it's funny that you're still like that.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the first. Do you remember the first movie you ever went to in the theaters? My grandpa took me to see Stuart Little, and I asked him. I said, "Is it going to be loud?" And he's like, "No, it's like not that loud." I said, "Can we turn it down?" I was like so
Aw,
nervous that it was
that's
going to
so
be too
cute.
loud, but yeah. And then we snuck into Pokemon.
Oh, nice!
I
You
can
did
admit
a
that.
double feature.
Yeah, but it was like halfway through, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. He's like, all right, let's go. So, I think the statute of limitations is up on that. I think I can admit that.
On what?
That we snuck into the
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah,
You
yeah.
think I'm
You're
good?
good. You're safe.
Yeah. Who?
The other stuff you do, like, don't admit that. But
What are you? I don't like when you like make these statements that make me look like I have to defend. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
me neither.
That's
I have
crazy.
no idea. I have no idea because I don't want to be an accomplice after the fact, so I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, let
either.
me tell you something. When I set this when this camera's not on the tripod,
Yeah.
your tone is totally different. The second, even when that camera's off,
Yeah.
you're still, if it's in front of you on the tripod, bro,
Yeah.
you go and you like perk up and stuff.
Yeah, no, we both say crazy stuff.
But then,
And you do crazy stuff.
that's not true. Ryan, my drummer who I play with,
Yeah.
he asked me like, because when I did the show here, he was like, "You got earplugs?" Because like at that point, I'm like 2 feet in front of the drums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "That's crazy." He's like, "You got to get earplugs." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, you're right there." But
Yeah.
he was telling me there's an audiologist. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And they put like shit, like when they make you ever see somebody get grills and they put that purple shit on their teeth
Yeah.
to get a mold?
Yeah.
He said they like pour that into your ear and then they have like a perfect mold of your ear
Right.
and then you can get these like super like what I just showed you, but they're like custom made to your thing.
Uh-huh.
And then the company or like the place whatever where you get them made, they save your mold
Yeah.
so you can like get like
Keep
keep getting
ordering. Yeah.
And I got to look into that because even going to shows or like doing more shows.
Mhm.
Because you still have to be able to hear. Like, I couldn't do a show with those construction foam shits in my ear. But
You know how dumb I am is like I just worry about that stuff like leaking into my brain.
oh yeah. Like, how does it know when to stop? Yeah. Do you do Q-tips in your ears?
Not anymore, just because I don't buy Q-tips.
No. It feels so good, but
Yeah.
I know it's bad.
Yeah.
I saw this thing on TikTok this girl was using. It was like a metal thing, and it looked like a little whisk, like a little tiny whisk.
Okay.
And like you put it in there, and since it's like open, like a spiral,
Yeah.
it doesn't push anything in. Like the stuff gets stuck on it, and when you
Right.
pull it out, like the earwax is on there. And I thought about that. I'm like, that's probably a lot better.
Yeah.
But in my head, like, how people say like, oh, don't use Q-tips because it pushes it in there.
Yeah.
I've like convinced myself that I'm like, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I know that it's bad, and I know
Yeah.
I don't. But in my head, I'm like, I got this.
You should just get like an X-Acto knife.
Dude, that's crazy.
Just scrape it out.
That's insane. That's
But
That's
it
crazy.
would be like total precision.
you think.
I've had these two like hangnails on my thumbs.
Were you
and-
saving them for me?
Yeah.
You're
No.
foul.
I need nail clippers. It's like it makes me so uncomfortable.
Well, you don't own nail clippers?
Well, no, I'm house sitting right now, so I
Oh.
don't have access.
Your mom doesn't own.
She does, but she was telling me to like root through her nightstand, and I don't know what I'm gonna find.
Yikes. That's crazy. What would you do if you found some crazy shit in there?
I would be like, I would just say,
Would you bring it up to her?
No, no. I would be like, oh, I borrowed Maddie's nail clippers instead. I'll just find some reason to not
That's crazy.
do that.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell. Oh, I remember why I brought up my mom's friend, because my mom's friend, when I met her,
Oh,
she
that came over for the weed
Yeah.
trimmer?
she said, oh, like I've heard a lot of good things about you. I've heard you're real funny. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And she's like, she said something like, I've heard the podcast, so I bet it's true, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, and I literally said to her, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It does, like, I love that people listen, and
Yeah.
I like that, but it does get me a little nervous when
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, dude, my mom has texted me things from the podcast, and like it's stuff like from like the 39-minute mark
Yeah.
that we just said in passing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, like this is not something that like because in the description I put like usually 3 topics that we talk about,
Yeah.
and then I'll put like and more,
Yeah.
so people can get an idea of what the episode is, but yeah, like if she says some shit like that, I'm like, wow, you're really listening.
Yeah.
Like after the one I did about when I first talked about Suki on here, she texted me. She's like, "Oh my god, you need to start like a cat podcast."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Damn, you're really listening out here." Like that's crazy to me. But
And she'll just like bat at the mic and stuff.
she but wait, if she said she heard the podcast, then wouldn't she think you're fun? Like,
Yeah, I may be misquoting her,
Okay.
but
but
yeah, I
she
don't
listens to
know.
the podcast,
She probably saw like a clip
Okay.
or something, like
but she knows we do the podcast.
yeah. But also, I'm like, why is my mom showing people the podcast?
Well, that's nice though.
No, it's nice, but it's also like I get.
Does your mom
nervous.
listen to the podcast?
I don't think so. No. I hope she doesn't, because I just talked about finding like a vibrator in her drawer.
But you didn't though.
I didn't, because
But-
I didn't want to look in
Yeah,
the drawer.
Yeah. Well,
I was scared.
yeah. What if like you see like in like your mom's room, like there's like a gun safe, and you're like, "Mom, I didn't know that you had like you were into guns and shit,
Uh-huh.
but like that's what it's for."
Like
she-
she's really like careful about her
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
finding that
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff.
Dude, right before we did this, actually, my uncle sent me a clip because he listens to the podcast, and he said, "I'm gonna pull up his message."
What's his name?
I call him Moop. So
Moop?
yeah. So
Moopy.
yeah. So his nickname was Mookie, but I was a kid and stupid and couldn't talk.
Yeah.
So I called him Moop.
Uh-huh.
And it just kind of stuck. But he said, "This is the way," right? And then he sent this video here. And I was like, this couldn't have been better timing. You don't need the sound, but this is the video that he sent. So he's pushing a shopping cart. He goes into the little corral, and he pushes it
Right
in,
into the slot.
right into the
like
cart
a
in
good
front of it.
citizen should do.
So I'm outnumbered, but I'm still not doing all that. I called you yesterday when I was leaving the grocery store, and I sent that bitch far. I'd like probably a good 60 feet across the lot.
Yeah.
But,
Shout out Moop. You know what you're doing.
he listens.
You're a good guy,
Hell yeah.
unlike this asshole.
Sorry. Oh, well.
Launching carts with reckless abandon.
I get it in the thing, though, every time. I don't care. Whatever. Maybe. It's also, I don't park. Like, I don't know how close his car was to that because the video started as he was walking towards the thing. But if I park close to it, I'll walk it in.
Yeah.
But I also don't like to park near it because people like me fly them into the fucking corral, and I don't want my car to get hit.
Yeah.
I
just love patting myself on the back for things like that.
For doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. It's like following the rules. Like, we follow the rules and then we want like a reward for it.
Yeah.
Because you see people doing bad stuff and you're like.
The reward is just me thinking I'm a good person.
Is that good enough?
I'm tricking myself. No.
Why?
I don't know. I want like.
Do you think you're a good person or do you truly believe you're a
something.
good person?
What?
Do you think you're a good person or do you truly believe you're a good person?
I think I'm like a pretty good person, but I think we all have like even like the best of us. What are those?
What?
Yeah, those burps or the sneezes?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What are those? That was funny.
Burp buddies. I think even like some of the best of us, like not saying I'm saying
okay,
even like pretty good people
Sure.
like have blind spots. Everybody's
Sure.
like does shitty things sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like the degree of shittiness.
Yeah. And the frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have lapses in our judgment.
But I've never ever thrown anything out the car window when I've been driving. Trash.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's piece of shit behavior.
And then you see people like, I haven't seen this in a while, but like a cigarette, I'm not excusing it, but it's like, all right. It's I've seen like in the past, I've seen people throw like bags out, like garbage.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts
It's
to
crazy.
me, dude, that people do that.
It's crazy. It's like you can't. Do you just hate having it in your car so much you can't like wait to bring it to a trash can?
You're gonna stop somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
just like this is somebody else's problem now. It's just scum behavior.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like even if you're not like super liberal, like care about the environment and shit, like
shouldn't want trash everywhere.
Yeah, like you've been to places, I'm sure, where there's like a lot of trash on the side of the road, and it looks bad.
Yeah.
Do you like looking at that? So don't fucking contribute to it.
And like, it's so bad when you see spots where like there's a lot.
Yeah.
Because then it's kind of just like a sign, like, oh, you could do this here.
Yeah.
That's so fucking. I saw a video on TikTok. This guy dumped like a bag of sheetrock and shit on somebody's land, and they saw him do it. So they like pulled up in front of his truck, and then like they called the cops on wherever the cops pulled up, and they made him like pick it all up. So, but he threw the bags and it like broke, and he's filming the guy, and he's just picking up like all this sheetrock, putting it back in, but like it's a mess.
That's
and,
awesome.
Like it was like a 10-second video, but I'm like, what? Good for that guy. Like, fucking find a dumpster.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like. I went with my my mom's ex-husband. I can't remember what
Recently?
it was. No.
Oh.
No.
I don't know if you still hung out with him or not.
No. Fuck that guy. Piece of shit. No, this was probably like 10 years ago, but I remember he had to get rid of some like large items and he didn't want to like pay for it. We went to, there's like a retirement home like in, I think I could say in Somerville.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But we like drove around the back and like
put it in the dumpster.
It was very sketchy. Oh, I think we were throwing out a mattress. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least he didn't throw it out the window.
That's true. That would have been impressive. I would have been mad at him, but I'm like, damn, how'd you get that out the window? Or just strap it to like the roof of the car, like real shittily.
Yeah.
And just be like, oops, and just keep going.
Oh man, I didn't even notice.
You get on the highway. Sorry. You told me before this started to remind you about catfish.
Oh no, that's off the podcast
really?
Talk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But why did you want to talk about that?
Because I was thinking the other day, this would be a big roundabout thing, and it'll be me ranting some more. But,
okay. I love roundabouts.
Not me, dude. I was just in Massachusetts last night. Bro, they're obsessed with them up there. The GPS, I was trying to get home, and it said, at the roundabout, take the 7th exit. Hey, that's too many. There should be 4 at max.
Make more roads.
Yeah. The 7th exit, and then there was one that had another one right after it.
Yeah.
And you could turn on red because the entrance to it had a traffic light. It said like turn on red only after complete stop. So I did it, but like it felt so wrong because like you're in the circle now. It was just so fucked up. And they need to get their shit together and get rid of their rotaries and roundabouts and circles, whatever they call them up there.
Yeah.
But last night I went to my boy M Dog's wedding.
M Dog.
Right? Shout out to M Dog. And I was just thinking about how crazy it is, like on my relationship with him. So when I first started making music, I went on YouTube and I was probably making like a remix to some song. I don't remember. 2008. Did I say that? It's 2008. And I found he had made a remix to the same song. And I was probably 12. He was 13. And I was like, yo, this guy's like good. And I don't know if he had like his screen name in the bio of the song or what, but I like messaged him on YouTube, and then like we just started working together, and then like we had like this whole crew and everything, and we had like all these artists across the country, and we're like 13 and 14, and we had like at one point we had like 5 or 6 people like in our whole crew, and it was just like cool as hell. Like
do you have a cool name?
It was Aaron Records.
Aaron Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the story behind that, I saw Fun with Dick and Jane, and I love that movie. And at the end, they like talk about Enron.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize like that it was like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, I love that name.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew I couldn't use it.
Right.
So I came up with Erron, Erron. In hindsight, like, why would I want to name my label after Enron?
Because your group was too big to fail.
Yeah, I guess that's a great point. Looking back, I kind of thought that. But yeah, and we just, we would like find people on YouTube and like hit them up and like work with them and stuff. And then like it was cool that like I was the president and M Dog was the vice president, and like I would be like not like away, but I would be like doing other stuff, and he would be like getting artists together, making songs. Like it was cool. Like he was like, making stuff happen. Like, cause usually like, I'd be like, yo, let's get on this song or whatever. But he like had his own thing going too. And I was like, yo, this is like pretty legit. It's cool, right? But I'm just thinking like I met this guy through a YouTube message, and like we would talk every weekend. I'd go to my grandparents' house, and I'd get on AIM like as soon as I got there, and we'd be making music all weekend. Did you ever use AIM?
No.
Dude, it was so great. So you would open up a tab that was like all your friends that were online, right?
Yeah.
And then you could click on one and it would open a chat with them, and you would just text back and forth.
Yeah.
But you could also share files, and it was instant. Like I would upload it, and then it would get to him like right away. So like for like making music and stuff, like I would do my part, send it to him, he'd send it back. Like it was incredible. And we were just doing that like every weekend. And then the first time I met him in person was 2016. So I'd already known him for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I did a show in Salem, Massachusetts, and he came through, and I met him then. And then we've met a bunch of other times in person since. But like now I'm at his wedding, and like he's not like local to me, you know what I mean? Like and also too like the other people that we worked with, like there's like 1 or 2 I keep in touch with, but like it's just crazy that like I was at his wedding. Like I don't know,
crazy.
it's so crazy.
Shout out Aaron.
Shout out Aaron Records.
Shout out Marvin.
M Dog.
Can I say Marvin?
Yeah, Marvin. That's his name. Shout out to Marvin. Shout out to Lauren. That's his wife.
I met both of them.
Did you?
Yeah, remember when I?
Oh, that's
took
right.
Those
Yeah,
pictures
that's right.
Yeah.
So we did. He was here. He came down here for a wedding.
Yeah.
And we
some beautiful women at that wedding. By
Really?
the way. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah,
but,
why not?
Yeah. Weren't they his relatives?
They might have been.
Oh, okay. I'm being respectful. Beautiful women.
You're being respectful and a creepy. You do that. Let's put a pin in this real quick. But you have a really great talent for just dancing on the line of like respectful and disrespectful. Like you could have stopped the first time. You're like, oh, beautiful women, but like, and then like when you do like the little growl and like lower your head, it gets weird, dude. Like the words that you're saying aren't bad. Somehow you make them bad. You're like, oh, a lot of beautiful women there, and
Beautiful
that's it. And, yeah,
women.
and then you're like, no, they're beautiful. Like when you lower your brow a little, and you're like, that's crazy.
I do
dude.
like the Kubrick stare.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Stop burping.
I'm sorry, dude.
Disgusting and foul.
I don't know. I had a lot of seltzer this morning. But yeah, so yeah, you did meet him.
Yeah.
He came down here, and I went up to meet him because we did like a little impromptu photo shoot in his hotel room.
Yeah.
Because for our album that we're working
Yeah.
on. I don't want to say.
You're still working.
Oh yeah,
on
bro. It takes time, bro.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
This is like the famous like fucking Kendrick Lamar J. Cole album.
Exactly, bro. It's when it drops, bro. It's gonna be insane. Because obviously, like me and him have songs together.
Yeah,
we were working together for 15 years.
Yeah,
but like this shit, when this comes out, bro,
world's gonna change.
And so I don't want to say it yet. We probably have said it on the podcast, but
yeah,
it's we're whatever. But when this shit drops, it's gonna be insane.
TP2.
Well, it's.
You changed the name?
Well, you always say 2. You say the name and then 2. We have to make the first one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But I thought that's what you said it was, TP2.
No, it's just...
Oh, it's just TP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we went up there with the camera and everything, and we took the picture, but I think I like forgot an SD card or a battery or some shit. So you took the picture on your phone, and I actually had Danielle, she drew it. So it's going to be like a cartoon type of picture instead, but it'll be us. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I've seen that picture.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I forgot you met him. So that's yeah. But,
I feel like I said something like really awkward or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the situation was awkward. Like he's my friend. Like I know you didn't know him. Yeah. And then like we're in this hotel room, like taking a picture, like doing a photo shoot. It was a little weird, but just I don't see him often. Yeah. And we had to link up to take the picture for the cover.
Yeah. I wonder if I said something about the beautiful women.
You might have. I don't know. I don't know if he'd remember that. But.
Yeah.
And so what's even crazier is that, like, obviously, like, I know your friends that you talk about, but it's just crazy that, like, I don't know. It was just made me thinking about, like, friendship and everything, too. Mm-hmm. But, no, it was a really nice wedding. It was, like, in this like event space, but it was like right on the water. The weather was kind of shitty, but it was really nice. You like went upstairs, and you went into the room, and the ceremony was in there, and then you went out the room, across the hallway into like this bar where like the cocktail hour was.
Yeah, and
then they closed off the room where the ceremony was and set it up for the tables. Then you were in the cocktail part for like an hour, and then they opened up the other thing, and all the tables were set up, and then the DJ was in there. It was like really nice, and it also too was making me think about like just showing up for things. And like it was in Massachusetts. It was fucking north. It was like 30 minutes north of Boston.
Oh wow! So like a good 4.5, 5 hours. From here.
It took like 6 to get there.
Oh wow!
And then coming back, it took like 5. But all morning I'm thinking like, damn, like I'll mail him the card still, but like what can I say? But I was like, no, like I know when
How do I get out of this wedding?
Yeah. And it's not that I didn't want to go; it's that I didn't want to drive.
Yeah.
But and then and it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
Which was it poured the whole way up there, and I'm like, how is this rain still? Usually if you drive for an hour, you get out of the storm. But and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, and traffic and all that shit. But I was like, I know when I get there, it's gonna be like really nice. I'm gonna be so happy.
Yeah.
And then like even this too, like we got home because we left after. I was like, I don't want to stay over.
Yeah.
Because we'll still have to do the drive regardless.
Yeah.
So I slept like 3 hours, and then we said we'll be here at 11. And I was like thinking like, how can I get out of this? And then you tell me that you woke up with a sore throat, and I was like, are you going to cancel on me? And I was like, damn. But I was like, no.
Did you want me to cancel?
In that moment, yes, I really did, because I'm like, I don't want to come here and set up. I really don't want to do this and shit. Yeah. But I'm like, no, like you got to show up for yourself, and it feels That's so awesome. Good. Yeah. Like.
This actually might help fund our future endeavors. Actually, I just had a rather brilliant idea while you were talking. Hear me out. I'm a big thinker. I'm an ideas man.
Sure.
And then
you said before. Can you say what you said before this podcast that made me laugh?
What did I say?
About thinking about things.
What did I say? I think I just thought of something.
Yes. That is the most Brady sentence there has ever been. I think I just thought of something. Hey, what?
Okay, hear me out.
I'm listening.
2 words, big idea. One big idea.
Okay.
Car umbrellas.
What do you mean?
So you were talking about how like it's like pouring rain, and it's like so dreary and like upsetting and stuff. Shit, is it already a thing? God damn it.
Yeah. You don't drive with it on, but yeah, it's already a thing.
Okay, well, mine you will drive with. So, like, I think I was telling you recently, don't bring logic into it. Okay. Just let me pitch. Let me cook. I was saying to my girl, like, recently, we were in the city, and it was raining. Mm-hmm. And we saw a couple people with, like, those umbrellas that come down. They're kind of like bubble umbrellas. Yeah. I really want one of those. Mm-hmm. So this would be kind of like a bubble umbrella for your car. It's, like, translucent plastic.
Sure.
And it'll extend like a couple feet out on every side. It's
you
going to
need
be
a
hard
wide-
to maneuver.
You need a wide load sticker on the back?
Yeah, but I think.
So what's
it
wrong
could
with
be
this?
cool. I don't know. It just doesn't go out far enough, and it reduces your visibility.
But you know, if you're in front of a car, nothing would stop it from going up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also too, you know, if it's translucent, it's just gonna be like looking through a windshield.
Yeah, I know.
And then
but
there's not gonna be any wipers on it.
yeah, I know, but
And it's also not gonna help any like actual aspects of physically driving in the rain.
car umbrella.
Car umbrella. Okay, well,
We'll
I like
we'll
that you're
work
using your
on
brain,
it.
but-
Like, I'm not saying it's ready to go right out the gate. We just got to talk about it.
okay, yeah.
So
I like, you know, I feel like Shark Tank, where it's like I like businesses more than ideas. Come to me when it's like, you know, when you're
okay.
cash flow positive.
Okay,
know.
I'll draft up a mission statement.
No, that I don't even want. I want it. I only want to hear about it when it's up and running.
Profitable.
Not
Okay.
even profitable, but
Okay.
you know, this. You remember that show American Inventor?
No.
Okay, well, it was like Shark Tank, but it was like for people that didn't start the business yet. It was just an idea.
Okay.
You know, I don't like that. Just
Yeah.
bring it to me when it's ready.
Okay.
You know?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Before, when we were talking about M Dog's wedding,
Mhm.
you got there from Catfish. Why were you going to bring
Oh,
up Catfish?
okay, yeah. So I was thinking about like how I met him on the internet,
Yeah.
and like you know him, you've met him, Scotty K's met him.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just like bringing like all these different like Scott. I went to school with like in elementary school. You I met when I moved up here in school.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking about Vinny. I didn't know him up until like 2016 or 17.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 15, but like just doing shows.
Yeah.
Like we were on like the same bill a bunch of times. But he's just like a cool dude, and like we were talking or whatever, and we did a show up at the Stanhope House, and I was walking out, and he like said what up to me, and I didn't even think he like knew me really.
Yeah.
And we were just like talking for like 20 minutes, and like it's just like if you think about your friends, just like all these different people, like where you know them from, and you know, I think a lot of people like maybe I'm speaking just for myself here, but like when you're out of school, like where else do you make friends?
Yeah.
You know, maybe work, but then it's like, oh, that's like your work friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a chance you could meet like somebody cool at work that then you hang out with.
Yeah.
But like, just the idea of making friends.
Or like an adult softball league.
Yeah, exactly. Like my grandpa has a friend so where my grandpa used to work on the road, like out of his work back home, there was a hot dog truck like on the side of the road, right? And the guy bought an old RV, and he was using like a trailer,
Sure.
and he was using that as his like thing. So he had like the dining room table in there, the living room, and then he like cut a hole in the side where the kitchen is to do the hot dog shit. So my grandpa stopped there like every day after work, and then just became friends with the guy.
Yeah.
And then he started like going in and would he like hang out like in the thing with the guy, and now like Hot Dog Charlie is like a member of our family. Like
Aw.
I haven't seen him in a while, but like he's like like if I went to my grandparents' house and like he was like hanging out with them or whatever, like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be weird.
Yeah.
Like they also like go to like concerts and stuff together. And to me, it's like you just met this guy from getting hot dogs every day. Like this is the guy that ran the hot dog stand, and now he's like your friend.
That's
like,
so sweet.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I just think it's like so cool about making friends. So the reason I want to bring up Catfish is because I've told like my catfish story here, and
Yeah.
it was like some girl that I like friended on Facebook or something, and like we talked on the phone, and then she said she was gonna be at Point Pleasant or one of the beaches or something. So I went down there with Scott, and I was like, she told me like what street she was between on the beach,
Yeah.
and she told me like what street she was on between on the beach or whatever, and I was calling her and like no answer, so I never got to like meet her, and like.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, I was talking to a person,
Yeah.
you know, like through text and on the phone, but like, who was that person?
Yeah.
And then, like, whose pictures was she using?
Yeah.
Because the voice versus the pictures, like, it looked like it could have lined up.
Right.
And I was just thinking, like, wow, like, this is like a person I met on the internet, and it's the complete opposite of M Dog. Like, it's not even like a real person.
Right.
Like, what is this? And then I was thinking about you, because you have like a catfish story. It's
Yeah.
not crazy,
Yeah.
but like, you talked to that girl on the phone, didn't you?
For hours.
Right? So like there's a voice, there's pictures.
Yeah.
You made plans,
Mm.
and like it just really makes me think like I'll never know.
Yeah.
Like cuz I'm still friends with that girl on Facebook. I
Yeah.
say that cuz I don't even know if it's a real person,
Yeah.
you know, or what it is.
Does
But
she post?
No.
Oh, okay.
But the account is still like there, you know?
Right.
And it's just like I don't know, it's just you know, it's weird. Like
See if you can trace the IP address.
you know how?
I don't know.
Dude, and then there's a guy I used to make music with he went by, his last name was Durkin. He went by Dirk Music Beats.
Okay.
That was like his shit. And he was from Cincinnati, or he lived in Cincinnati. And like same thing. We would like make music and shit, talk on AIM, and never really on the phone because there wasn't like a need for that. But like I knew what he looked like, he knew what I looked like, and we were friends on like all the social shit.
Right.
And then he had friends that made music, and so I'm like friends with them on Facebook, and like I can't find him anywhere. Like his pages are gone. Like I see stuff like in my Facebook memories, and like I've tagged him and stuff. But when somebody deletes like their Facebook, like when you tag somebody, their name's blue and you can click on it.
Yeah.
Like so I'll be like it'll say like Nick, and then it'll be just black text. Like I can't click on it.
Right.
So it's like page is gone, and like I haven't, but I'm so tempted to like message like one of his friends that I knew and be like, do you know what happened to this guy?
Yeah.
Because like what like. If you just want to like not make music anymore, you're just done with, if it was like a hobby or you're done with it, like fine. But like, it's just weird. Like, I don't know, like what happened? Like, are you in witness to protection now? And I was actually like really close with him because like we would make songs like all the time, and he's like a cool dude or whatever.
Yeah.
And he would like mix my stuff because I used to use like a really shitty microphone and everything. So I would send it to him, and he would make it sound like passable, not great because I was like shitty to begin with, but he would just make it sound like good. And just like a cool ass dude, and he's gone, like just vanished. And there's other people, like I said, that I just like lost touch with, but I'm still friends with them on Facebook, and I see them like doing shit, and I'm like, oh cool, just not like music shit, just see them living life, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't know, when people just vanish like that, or like the catfish shit, I'm like, what? I need to know. Like it's it drives me nuts that I don't know.
I'll always wonder like what.
Do you think about that,
my
girl?
catfish? Not. I mean, when catfish comes up, sure, but like. Not actively.
Because like you talk, like I can say what happened. Yeah. You met her through an app, right?
Yeah, on Tinder.
And then you text and you talked on the phone.
Yeah.
And then you had plans to go to an ice cream place.
Yeah.
But you mixed up the locations because there's multiple.
Yeah.
And you went to the wrong one, and then you tried to contact her and you never got a hold of her.
Yeah.
And then
I was trying to call her on the way.
Yeah.
And we had like set up a time and everything, and then like she just like never. It very well could be that she was real, but she was just like pissed off that I was late or something, and was like, this guy's not worth my time. But like, I feel like given how hot she was and given how fucking weird our conversations were, I think she was a catfish. But,
so like the pictures weren't her.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably told this story before, but we would talk I want to say on like 2 different occasions, we talked for like 2 or 3 hours on the phone. And there would be like, no exaggeration, there would be like 5-minute long pauses where nobody said a word. And she would ask about like, she would say, I guess my hands were visible in some of my pictures on my profile. And she would make comments about my hands, say she likes my hands, she wants to like hold them, and like weird shit. Yeah. I don't know.
Did the voice sound like it could have matched the face? You remember?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's hard to say. I don't know.
And it's just like people that do, and like I didn't get like, it was like, because how old were you?
This was probably maybe 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so not that long ago.
I was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
So I didn't go to the beach alone because I was like, I kind of was like, I don't know.
What if you get iced?
Well, it was like the beach is public enough to where like, but and I even like walked up and down the boardwalk, and like it wasn't like a crazy crowded day, like, and I thought I knew what the girl looked like.
Yeah.
But just couldn't, once we got down there, just couldn't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just so weird, and I just think about it so much, and it's like.
And once again, maybe she wasn't a catfish. Maybe she got cold feet.
I know, but then like, do you not just to ghost somebody like that, like totally, like.
I'm just saying it's like part of the mystery. It's like,
I know.
What happened?
Yeah, I know, dude.
So Kalel.
That was her name?
Yeah, Kalel. Kalel. And she was like,
Kalel.
She was like a very fair-skinned white chick with like bright red hair.
Oh wow.
Like, orange.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kalel?
Yeah, so I feel like it could be made up. I don't remember.
Mine was Hannah.
What?
Mine was Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Kalel and Hannah. Maybe they're together somewhere.
Maybe they have a podcast. Maybe they have a podcast where they just go through all their catfish victims.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be fun.
These 2 fucking dorks that we ghosted.
And bro, they're gonna clip this episode and use it in theirs and be like, they can't stop thinking about us.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
They're living in my head rent free.
Yeah.
Our heads.
I don't know. I just think about, there's like a lot of shit like that I think about. I did a party once at this place. There was like this, when I was doing teen nights and shit, there was like this restaurant that, I don't know what kind of restaurant it was, but then it turned into like a like a KFC knockoff.
Sure.
But it still was like in a building that was a restaurant, not like a fast food place.
Yeah.
So it was built on a hill. So you would go in the front door at the top of the hill, and that was the upstairs. But then if you went down into the parking lot, you were down the hill in the back, and there was a door. And if it was a restaurant, that would be where the dining room was. But there were stairs that would go from the dining room back upstairs. So the chicken place would rent out the downstairs as like a banquet hall.
Okay.
So we rented it and would throw parties there.
Yeah.
And we did a couple. And there was this guy I worked with, a promoter, and he was like, yo, like I want to like get in on that, because it wasn't like at an actual nightclub. And we actually called it Club Glow because we had to have a name for it. Because at the time, I think the place was called like New York Fried Chicken or some shit like that. Yeah. So we're like, we can't put on a flyer, hey, party at New York Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
So we named it Club Glow, and then like underneath that, it would say like behind New York Fried Chicken. We had like a banner and shit that we made. It was cool as hell.
You should have called it Club Bones.
That would have been even better. Play into the
chicken thing. Yeah. Plus, there's an implication you might get lucky. Like,
but it was, well, I mean, I was 15 years old. Anyway, this promoter was like, oh, I like, because he was doing shit in like actual clubs, and he was like, oh, there's this guy I work with. He wants to like do a party there, and I think it was like with you guys, and he was like, I think it might have been like $300 to rent the place with like $100 security deposit. We're talking like 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, because at that point I'm like, well, I don't have to pay. Like, he wants to throw the party but like work with me. He'll put the deposit down. Yeah. So I was like, all right, yeah, like I don't have to pay for this place, because we would charge $10 to get in. So you'd have to get 30 people there to break even.
Right.
So I was like, shit, if he's going to put the money down, sure. So he did. And it was like a Christmas party, and it was like themed, whatever. And he was trying to promote it like it was a club, like an actual like real place. And I was trying to tell him like, this isn't going to work here. Like it's like a real like low key thing. Like the kids just come here because the actual teen clubs were like 25 to get in. Yeah. And we have like 2 of the same DJs that go over there. So like they'd just rather come here. But he's like, no, we'll do it up. We'll make it real big or whatever. Nobody showed up. Like not a single person showed up. And this guy, he went upstairs to the owner, and he was screaming. He's like, give me my fucking money back. He goes, I'll burn this fucking place down.
Holy
He's like,
shit.
that was my fucking kid's Christmas money. What the? And I'm 15, and I'm with Scott, and we're there, and it's like, we're panicking because my grandma had to drop me off and pick me up. So I called her. I'm like, you got to get here as fast. Like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's going to do.
Yeah.
And we have like all our equipment there, like our speakers and lights and shit.
Yeah.
And we had done parties there. We did one other party there on Halloween, and it was on Halloween night, and nobody showed up.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, nothing you can really do about it. But,
how was he getting mad at the venue? Like, that's not under their control.
Exactly. But I think, like, he was trying to, like, talk them in to be like, look, nobody showed up, so we didn't use your space.
Yeah.
Which, again, yes, but also they had to block it off for us.
Yeah,
so,
somebody else could have used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, nobody was really using that space ever, so it didn't, but I was like, we got to get out of here. And I don't even know what ended up happening with that.
Yeah.
But we just packed up and left. Like, well, he was upstairs like screaming because it was like the manager and then the owner was in the back. So he was like screaming at the manager to tell the owner to come out to like give him his money back.
Yeah.
And then it made us look bad because we brought this guy in and the guy was like cool with us because the one time we did it. Also, we're kids. Like when the Halloween one, when no one showed up, it's like, we're not going to argue the guy. It's like, it's our fault. Nobody showed up, But yeah, that was crazy. But I think about that, like, what is that guy doing now? Because that guy like flew, and $300 is a lot of money. Like, you get the $100 deposit back, right? So you had to put 4 down, you get the 100 back. But like, $300 to lose is like, that's not nothing.
Yeah,
but
also, what the fuck are you doing, throwing parties? With like. If he's that pressed about $300 and he's saying it's his kid's Christmas money, he can't be making a ton of money. What the fuck are you doing?
He was like, you know what? He was like, we got to get Scott on the podcast to talk about this and all the other crazy shit we did. But he was like, do you know what you just did to my family's Christmas? He's like screaming at the guy. It's funny now, but bro, he was going off. Like, not just like, like I mean like screaming like
Yeah.
top of his lungs shit.
Yeah.
And they were only there because they would be there when we would have parties. Like the chicken place was closed.
Yeah.
Because we'd have parties from like 8 to 12, 8 to 11 or whatever. And they closed at like 9.
Yeah.
So they would, you know what I mean? So they're just up there waiting for the party to end. And, you know, it was a quick $300 for a Saturday night for them. But you know what else was funny too? The first party we did, because it was a big open room and it had like a bar in the corner and they sold like Monster and water and soda and shit. The rest of it was just open. Then it had like a hallway for the bathrooms. And it was like a tile floor and white walls and we would put up speakers and shit. After the first party, there was all these like black circles on the walls.
Yeah.
And we're looking around and I'm like, what was that? Like what happened?
Yeah.
And it was all guys leaning up against the wall, like getting grinded on. So it was like their backs rubbing on the wall. It made all these spots. Dude, the guy was pissed. And if you like just like a magic eraser where
Yeah.
they got it off.
Yeah.
But I'm not even exaggerating. There had to be like 30 spots all along the wall in the whole room.
Yeah.
And it was just really funny.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
we like ruined the walls of that place. I had pictures of those parties on like an old laptop, and I don't know where the hell they went.
Yeah.
But I would love to try to find that or see if anybody has it.
I want to go back real quick to the guy who's screaming his head
Yeah.
off. Like, how were the manager and the owner reacting?
The manager, from what I remember, the manager was like pretty cool about it. He was like calm, trying to calm the guy down. The owner was in the back like shaking.
Yeah.
Because I do remember like the way it was set up. Because the upstairs, the whole thing was a restaurant, but when the chicken place came in, they turned it into more like a casual thing.
Yeah.
And it had like a Subway type thing where you would like slide down and they
Yeah.
would give you the food. And then they had tables and shit. But he went like behind like where the food is, and then there was a doorway into the kitchen, and the manager was like blocking the doorway, and the owner was in the back. But like from where we were standing, you could see back through the doorway, so you could see the guy back there, and he's like over top of the manager, like screaming at the owner, but the manager's like blocking him in the doorway, and he handled it pretty good. Like he was pretty calm about it, the manager, but the owner was in the back, like get him out of here, like screaming at the guy. And again, I don't know what ended up happening. The guy went outside, and I remember he was like on the phone when my grandma pulled up. And like we had everything like unpacked and everything.
Yeah.
And usually we would like load the car up so it was easy to unload. Like she like popped the trunk. It was an SUV. She popped the trunk. We just threw shit in there. We're like, just fucking go. Like we'll figure this shit out later. And yeah, that was like scary. Because also too, we're 15.
Yeah.
You know, so like what do you know? And he was, I'll burn this fucking place down. He goes, I'll come back here. He goes, he was like, he said something like, you know, there's going to be a time where no one's going to be here. I'll fucking come back. Like, it's just going off on these people.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like I said, I know $300 is not nothing to, you know, but sometimes you just got to take the L. It happens, you know? That's crazy. But, and I think about him, you know, what is that guy doing now? You know, I don't know. I like to think about that shit. You know, what are they doing now?
Yeah.
You got any people like that?
Any people who I wonder what they're doing?
Yeah, like any crazy people. Like, I mean, you worked at some restaurants and shit, probably with some crazy people, right?
There was this one guy who I fucking despised. This guy was like a fucking piece of shit. Actually, bleep that out because I'm about to say some wild shit about him. We'll say his name was Slimy. Can we call him Slimy?
Sure, that works.
And just take everything else out. I worked with this guy Slimy. This guy was like the biggest fucking douchebag on the planet. I don't know if I've talked about him before, but like,
Probably. Is this at a restaurant? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Maybe bleep that out.
I'm definitely gonna bleep that out.
This is when I used to work at this restaurant. I worked with this guy Slimy for I don't know how long, but just from the moment he started, I didn't like the cut of his jib. He was like all cock of the walk, this very arrogant fucking douchey guy who like he would always refer to this sort of this past of like serving experience that like nobody could like verify. He would always like talk up a big game like, oh, I've worked at places like way nicer than this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he was like this very greasy looking dude. Like he acted like he was all handsome and shit, but he was like he wasn't in like the greatest shape. And like he had like greasy, gross hair.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way he carried himself, like you got to kind of respect it. Like he
Was he a
thought he was
manager or
hot shit.
anything?
No, he was a
was just
waiter,
a-
just like me, like
okay.
another fucking peon. And And he was just like, it was like harassing, like not like harassing, but like always like hitting on like coworkers and
How
stuff.
old was he at that time?
He was like around our age, maybe a little younger.
Okay.
And he was like a thicker dude, not fat, just like sturdy.
Sure.
And I remember one time he was trying to like hit on this girl, Evanescence.
Jesus Christ.
It's nowhere close to her name, but I just think it's funny to have somebody called Evanescence.
Okay.
Evanescence is like genuinely one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. Plus, she was like super pretty.
Okay.
And she was just like the best. She was like gorgeous and like nice and fun. And but he was trying to hit on her for obvious reasons. She's a catch. Yeah. And I remember I found this out from her, but he told her that he could squat 800 pounds. He told her she could squat 800 pounds, and I looked her dead in the face, and I was like, "No, he can't."
Wait, did he?
I don't know.
Did he say that in front of you, or did she tell you he said that?
She told me he said that,
okay.
and I think she knew he was a bullshitter. I think she had gone to high school with him.
Okay,
but I think even she knew that was like bullshit. And I looked it up. I think that's like, I don't know what the world record is, but like he'd have to be like world record level to be able to squat that much. Yeah, look it up.
The heaviest assisted squat lifted by a male is 1,069 pounds.
Okay, so I mean he's 200 pounds short of like a fucking world record.
Heaviest unassisted squat lifted by a female is 614 pounds.
Okay.
Wow, heaviest assisted squat by a female is 854 pounds.
Oh wow.
What's assisted versus? Is that like with the bands? You know how they got the see this guy here with the. I don't know. Either way, that's crazy. Impressive.
Anyway, this guy was just. It's okay. He was just a fucking creep.
He claimed he was 200 pounds short of the world record.
Yeah. And like if you could squat that much, I mean that would be incredible. But also you'd look fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Like you've seen the dude from Game of Thrones, the Mountain, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you look like that guy, but shorter. Like there's no way you'd look the way you look. Like this guy was like kind of flabby. I'm not shitting on him, but he was he was not a fucking athlete by any means. There's no way.
That's funny.
And it's just like,
and what a weird fucking thing to be like try to do, like use as a pickup line.
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid and you're like, my dad can beat up your dad. It's like, I can squat 800 pounds.
Yeah. Like imagine she was like, oh my God, like we got to get out of here now. Like,
fuck me, please. And if you're gonna make something like that up, like make something more believable up. Like I can squat 450. Like that's very impressive.
Sure.
But like people can do that. There was an incident where I was like one of the two closers, and when you're a closer, you have to like check people's side work. And like also check their sections. And so he had a section like sort of, we called it the wing. It was like off to the side of the main floor. And like he had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 tables in his section. And there was one table all the way in the back of the wing. And I was doing my job and I was checking and I looked down at the floor and it's like, it's a bitch to clean in the wing because it's like a carpet floor. If you've ever tried to sweep a fucking carpet, it's annoying. But anyway, so like I go back there and the floor is like fucking filthy. He clearly didn't sweep at all. And so I go to him and I'm like, hey, you're good. Like I need you to sweep under table, whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. He might've made a little comment like, oh, I thought I already did or something like that. But so he goes back, he does that. He's like, hey, whenever you get a chance, like I'm good. Like I swept. And I don't know if I just didn't trust him or if I was just doing my due diligence. I go back and check. Clearly nothing changed at all. This guy's just like, he thinks he's gonna fucking like get one over on me. So I go back and I'm like, hey man, you still didn't sweep. And he was like, then he starts like gaslighting me and he's like getting an attitude and he was like, oh, like you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like I definitely did. And then like, I don't know if I made him go back one more time or not, but he started going like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The funny thing is he was such a like, he acted like he was such a like macho man and like ladies man, but he was also like very metrosexual, and he had this like
Dude, I haven't heard that in 11 years.
He had this super effeminate voice. He was like kind of like Dez. Okay, it wasn't. That's very stereotypical. It wasn't that bad, and he didn't like shake his head when he talked, but like he had like this very.
I'm picturing like Andy Dick.
Kind of like maybe not quite that bad, but not that that's bad, but
not to that level, but
Well, anyway, so he was like, this fucking bullshit, like I'm not sweeping again, like I already did it, and I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. And so then we're getting like a little hostile towards each other. We weren't like in each other's faces or anything, but he's like hopping an attitude with me, and I was like, okay, I'll just like tell the manager, and he was like, go ahead. And so the manager like made him do it, I guess, or actually he still refused to do it, and he was like, okay, well then we'll just like write you up. But it's like, what a fucking cocksucker. Like,
so all that to say, you wonder where he is now. What he's doing now.
Well, I'm not quite done picking on this guy because I really fucking hated this fucking scum ball. This ball of fucking fried shit. Fuck this guy.
It takes a lot for you to get that worked up about a person.
No, this guy was a scumbag, and he reminds me a lot of Jack. Like, he's just like a liar and like just not a genuine person. And I think he has like fucking like narcissistic personality disorder. I'm just being a doctor today.
Okay.
Like, he's just like not in touch with reality, and he thinks he's the main character, and like he just can't accept that he's like a piece of shit at times. Jack, if you're out there, go fuck yourself.
I didn't know it got that bad.
No, he's just like a piece of shit.
Because it was, I thought it was kind of like,
he'll never change.
I thought it was kind of like leveled off.
No, but he's been fucking with me recently.
Damn.
Again, like, is that still recording?
Yeah. That's sad because you and Jack were friends for a long time.
Yeah, well, he was a piece of shit, and I put up with a lot for a long time. Anyway.
I told you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm right.
Anyway,
I'm
back to what I call him?
Slimy.
Slimy? Yeah, Slimy. Definitely. Yeah. That's why you have to make sure.
Oh, yeah. I got to bleep that, too, just because it's in...
Okay.
But he's...
Okay.
But don't just keep going.
I'll say that.
Stop. Don't, just keep talking.
I'm not saying his name.
I know, but it's just bad because I don't know the laws, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember that scene in Big Daddy where he's giving the kid's in the bath and he's like, why do I have to wear swim trunks?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know the laws and stuff like that. Yeah. That's how I feel when you start saying stuff. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not being like, no, this guy's a good person.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like everything you've said, like, I don't know if people can take this and then like
identify him
based off that and then be like, look, he's defiling my name because, you know, and it all lines up and it is him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, anyway, one thing I think I can say, I'm so angry that I can't like talk shit about him with no consequences, but
I know.
He was trying to like mac on this chick who I think at the time was underage.
Okay.
Like, he was just like a slimy piece of shit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Not good.
So that's all I got to say on the matter.
But I didn't mean to work you up. I just asked if you had any characters in your life.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I went on like a 20-minute diatribe.
Yeah, that's okay.
So anyway.
I mean, you know, it's about the characters you meet along the way.
Slimy and Jack, I want you to rot in hell.
You know? Well.
And I hope Jack still listens.
Did he ever?
I don't know.
Anyway, this has been the Z-Listers podcast. Thank you for listening. Back at it again with another one. I love doing this. You're the man.
You're the man.
See you in the next one.
All right. Mwah.
Peace.
Bye, guys.